Sunday morning. It is the 7th of August. I'm first morning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week. We drink coffee, we chat, hopefully get your day started off on the right note. And we are doing so this morning, tracking a couple of fairly big stories. The first thing, we're tracking the tropics where something may be trying to get going. What are you doing out there, huh? We'll talk about it. Plus, it is back to school, and we've got you covered every step of the way. We are going to be monitoring that back to school forecast, and for that matter, just the whole work week forecast. But before we step into that, let's just set the stage. An absolutely stunning shot this morning. It's beautiful, isn't it? This is a shot looking toward Altamont Springs from our tower cam. There is a little haze out there this morning. You know, a little haze, a little fog, that kind of thing. Let's look into downtown Orlando. There's Camping World Stadium. Off in the distance. It looks lovely for sure. It's a beautiful blue sky over top. No matter what neighborhood you live in, there's downtown Orlando, another shot. No matter what neighborhood you live in, it's gorgeous. Let me take you over to Volusia County, where I've been watching this is kind of like moments of zen all morning long, don't judge me. We've been watching boats heading on out to enjoy the day. Let's go into Brevard County, see what it's doing. There's Cocoa, Melbourne looking gorgeous, the Kennedy Space Center also looking gorgeous. Temperatures around town, and of course I'm cycling those temperatures for you on the bottom of your screen there, but things are looking good. 70s and 80s. First warning, live Doppler radar. We are watching a few showers, so that's something we'll have to deal with. A nice heavy cell looks like coming in right around Micco. Let me just zoom in there, right along Micco Road. If you live right there at US 1 and Micco Road, it's raining or will be raining soon. There's, not much wind or anything on our Doppler radar, but a nice downpour there, and then a few additional showers just off the shoreline there of Melbourne and Melbourne Beach. So as we look to the forecast today, yes, we've got the showers. That coverage is going to be building over the next couple of hours, but I do think it's a slightly later start to the rain today versus what we saw the last couple of mornings. So yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. You could see 10% coverage of rain the next couple of hours. By 1, 2, 3 o'clock, though, we're going to be building up that coverage. Remember, yesterday the rain was pretty widespread at like 8:30, 9:30. It's going to be a little bit later for us today. All right? All right. How we doing, everybody? Beverly, good morning to you. Shauna, good morning to you. Terry, how are you? Stephanie, good morning. Good morning. Make the tropics go back to sleep, Penny says. Well, look, we're going to talk about that. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack on Coffee Talk today. Stephanie says, I definitely wasn't with it this morning. Oh no, Stephanie, I accidentally poured the Pepsi I grabbed from the fridge for myself in the Munchkins bottle instead of the milk. Time to get my coffee. Can I make an admission to you, Stephanie? You know what I did yesterday? I didn't even tell my wife because I think she would have made fun of me. When I poured the milk in for the kids, I put it in my pantry. And then when I microwaved their milk, I was like, I'll throw a little bit extra milk in here. And I went into the refrigerator and I couldn't find it. If it wasn't for that moment of, let me add a little bit more. Let me add a little bit more milk. If it wasn't for that, I might have not checked and the milk would have gone, tepid. That's not what you want. So anyway, we're all human. It happens, Stephanie. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Good morning to you, Jan, David, Nancy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Glad to see everybody joining us this morning. Nice weather in Florida. It's going to be 97 up here in Philadelphia. Oh my gosh. Yep, it's going to be nicer here. Linda's asking, when can we expect rain today in the Oviedo area? So let's get right to it. First warning futurecast showing us the forecast hour by hour. Let's just take you through time. I'll bring it full screen. I want to pause this at noon because yesterday, lunchtime, we already had rains kind of all scattered about in here. That's not going to be the case. We're just going to be getting things started around noon today. By 2, 3, 4 o'clock, that's where we're getting that wide scattering of showers. There's 4 o'clock. Could even see some heavier storms down around Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Holopaw, Poinciana, even Champions Gate, may even be up here around the tourist district. But then everything wants to kind of focus out Sumter, Lake, Marion counties, and by about 8 o'clock or so tonight, things are quieting down. So I would say, genuinely, it looks like a really nice forecast for us. Not much to talk about there, not much going on. Something of a shower and storm setup today. Now, that said, let me do this. Let's talk a little bit about things, okay? First and foremost, if you're heading out to the attractions today, for example, Universal Studios looks pretty great. Open doors in about 54 minutes or so. Not too bad. Couple of showers, couple of thunder showers possible. Just have the rain gear handy, just in case. You'll be good to go. Janet says, my daughter's name is Danielle. She's an environmental biologist. Throw some unusual bugs in that possible hurricane. It will distract it and divert its path. That's terrifying. Debbie says, saw Joey Fatone yesterday at Epcot. Super humid there, but he was wonderful, and I put a few clips up. Oh, very cool. Like that. Linda says, pool party okay at 3. So, Linda, I think you're going to be okay. And I'm not just saying it. It's going to be a pretty good day. Yeah, we've got the showers around, but as long as you keep, you can. I was explaining this to my little guy. Like, you can swim in rain. You're already wet, but the thunder and the lightning is where it gets to be dangerous. So there's that. Yeah, it's not bad. By the way, if you're wanting to head over to the beach today, it looks absolutely, absolutely wonderful for it. All right, today, surf breaking 1 to 2 feet. Seas offshore for the boaters running about 2 to 3 feet. Water temperatures in the mid-80s. And aside from these coastal showers this morning, once these coastal showers are done and they move inland, you're going to be good to go. So, I'd say you're going to be having a really great beach day. A really great beach day. I want to go to the beach. We haven't had rain in Palm Coast in a while. Seems like we drained the pool, then need to add a little water back in. No, you're right. As a matter of fact, today's rainfall coverage is basically non-existent once again for Palm Coast. So, yeah, there's that. We will have our youngest 2 grandchildren tomorrow, 3 and 5, and hoping they can get some swim time. Debbie, I would say yes. I would also say that I know that vibe because I've got my 2-year-old and 4-year-old, so we're like almost in that same area. All right, to the tropics. Shall we chat a little bit about what's going on out there? Tracking the tropics, and here we are. The first system that we are watching, at least as of right now, is just rolling off the coast of Africa. As it continues out, Hurricane Center has marked this as having a medium 40% chance of development over the next couple of days' time. Now, you can tell, I love Coffee Talk because we get to chat, and I love getting the chance to interact with you because it benefits you, I hope, as much as it benefits me. I know it benefits me because, for me, the questions you ask are the questions that I probably should be explaining, right? So, right off the bat, this is something to track. We know that the peak of hurricane season is essentially on our doorstep, right? It's technically like September 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, in that ballpark. Okay, so we're building to it. We're like right in here. So we're starting that steep uphill climb to get to the peak of hurricane season. And we have been well behind. When we look at the ACE, and I always talk about this, but we've only generated 2.8 ACE points, or accumulated cyclonic energy points. That's a direct measurement of tropical activity. The 30-year average is 11.5. Last year, through today, we had 13.2. So we are way behind the average. We are way behind where we were last year. So it does just make sense that the tropics start to wake up, right? Of course it does. So let's do this. Let's take a look at the raw computer models and just see what's doing, all right? This is a look at the most recent, the brand new 6Z run of the GFS. And I'm going to go through this quickly. You can kind of see right where it says forecast high 93. You see that little dot there? That is this thing. So the GFS, and that's Friday, the GFS is trying to develop this, okay? But watch what happens. It gets north of like St. Croix and the Virgin Islands and like another storm absorbs it and it kind of becomes a nothing. Cool, okay? Now there may be something, let me just back this up. This is Saturday, so next weekend may have a little something around. You see the mid-Atlantic there? Kind of pulling away from the mid-Atlantic, may have a little something there. All right, so that's the 23rd of August. That's the GFS. Let's switch over and let's look at the European. And we'll roll through and you can kind of see same idea. Let's just go back here. A little something in the open Atlantic, crossing, something around the mid-Atlantic around the 13th. There's, you know, just nothing remarkable is all I'm seeing here, right? Now let's switch over to the ensemble plots. I always love looking at the ensembles because they give us, I think, they give us a much better key into what's going on. Now, what's an ensemble? We don't talk a lot about ensembles except for during tropics, but think of it as this is the GFS ensemble. So what you're looking at is 51 think of it as 51 flavors. It's different. It's 51 different versions of the GFS, slightly tweaked, slightly tweaked. So instead of just getting like one model, you get to see what else it's thinking. It's kind of like peeling back the layers of the onion and getting ideas. So we put it all in one graphic, and it's possibly confusing. So that's why I want to kind of take this with you. But what you look for is like when you see a bunch of circles close together or spread apart, that lets you know that there's different runs of things. So like, for example, right where it says forecast high 89, you see that 10-12 blob? That means that there are ensemble members that are tight in that area, right? There's a low. You can see a couple of ensemble members. You see how it's like a weird disheveled, where it says the word talk up there, just off the, just out in the central Atlantic. There's a couple ensemble members that are out there. And you can see how there's just a bunch of lows. So it's kind of trying to figure out in the open Atlantic, but it's trying to show some lows. There may be even one of the ensemble members throwing some low pressure back over to Florida. Let's switch over to the GFS, or to the European. And you can kind of see how there's lows trying to form up. Let me just move this around. I'll come into the slightly tighter view here. And you can see there's the 19th. There are some ensemble members trying to show some lowerish, pressure-ish near us. So suffice it to say that, the models are starting to show tropical development, okay? Now, the month of August is usually when we start to get stuff doing, all right? So we know that. We know that that's the case. It's just a matter of, is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? That sort of thing. Normal first hurricane is August the 14th. Normal first major hurricane is August the 31st. So this is normal. We're building to the peak of season. Okay, now to the BSR. This is a long-range forecasting technique. I like to think of this as a way to check your work. All right, so what we're looking at here, that's August 5th. So that's August 22nd on the BSR. High pressure, maybe some stormy weather up around the northeast United States. All right, but notice there's a little coastal low there. That catches my attention. That's the 23rd of August. And then not only a coastal low around the mid-Atlantic, but also a coastal low around Florida. You see that there? That's the 24th, all right? And that's as far out as the BSR goes. That's the 24th. So the 24th shows a coastal low around Florida. And the reason that that's interesting is because if we go back to our long-range hurricane season forecast, of course, that was issued back on March 1st, I said that in late August, we were going to be watching the east coast of Florida as having a possible return date of a storm system, late August. And by the way, in that same time frame, you know, the mid-Atlantic, same time frame, late August. So if we look at the BSR, you've kind of got mid-Atlantic and Florida low pressure areas there. And on the calendar, and again, what did I say that date was? That was the 24th. So that's the 24th. If we look at the month calendar for August, this was issued on March 1st. 24th, 25th, mid-August, 26th, 27th, 28th, around Florida. So in that time frame. So it's lining up exactly when we said that there should be some trouble in those areas. So when one long-range forecast method comes in line with another long-range forecast method, at least it has my attention loaded. So again, it's something to watch. Just a reminder though, we put this forecast out every year. You can check on it. It is unchanged from our release, which was back on March the 1st. You can read it, wesh.com/hurricane forecast. And it includes the coffee talk discussion from that day, by the way, where we talk all about the hot spots for the year and all of that fun stuff. And by the way, also, we were among the very few that were talking about, we were the only ones actually, the LRC forecast was the only ones that were talking about a near average hurricane season. Nancy says 10th and the 11th watching Texas, Louisiana. Yeah, so this doesn't guarantee that it's tropical in nature, but there's going to be some sort of, you know, there would most likely be some sort of a storm system. I would say like the 8th and the 9th watching Florida, our rain chances are going up because of the Alex/PTC1 recycle, but the 10th and the 11th, if we were to look at the models, give me a second, let me dial this up. I would almost promise you that there's some sort of a storm system. Some sort of a storm system around Texas and Louisiana around the 10th and the 11th. Yeah, and you can kind of see it's eroding the high pressure. So if we were to look at the moisture itself, precipitation, 6 hour, let's see, precipitation total. Yeah, I mean, yeah, right there. So that's through the 12th. You could see Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi gets a pretty big deluge of rain. So there's going to be a storm system, and it's kind of already, you know, now that I mention it, if you look at the satellite imagery, you can already kind of see moisture bubbling in that area. So again, doesn't have to be tropical in nature, but we're tracking little pieces of energy around. So you can already kind of see the rain chances bubbling up in those areas. So that lines up. That's not going to be tropical in nature. But again, if we look longer range, so that Texas, Louisiana, that's that. But for me, we're starting to get BSR indicators right in there. That kind of the week of the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, we're going to be watching that. So yeah, that's the one thing with this hurricane season forecast that we issue is we don't guarantee any of this is going to be a hurricane or a tropical storm or even tropical systems. But what we're watching for is opportunities for moisture around, little pieces of energy, little upticks of energy. So that's the thing. Like that watching Florida signature there. I mean, just look at our 7-day forecast. Yesterday's rain coverage was at 40%. If you look at today's rain coverage, it's up to a 50%. And for the next couple of days, it's even higher than that at 60%. So that's the PTC1/Alex recycle. Thankfully, nothing tropical, but it's there. The rain chance ticks up just a little bit. All right, so that's kind of where we're at. It's all in there on the hurricane season forecast, wesh.com/hurricane forecast. And it's just a reminder, our landfall hotspots for the year, Florida and the mid-Atlantic, though we do include mentions of interest, Texas, Louisiana, and then the Northeast. And I do think that looking ahead to September, the Northeast has at least a window of possible interest, 9th, 10th, and 11th or so. And then again, the Florester cycles around the 21st, 22nd. All right, how much time?
4 minutes and 30 seconds.
4 minutes, 30 seconds. Very good. Any questions, comments, concerns, friends, before we wrap this puppy up? Any questions, comments, concerns? We just talked about that, Anne-Marie. Those percentages are for general viewing area, meaning some of us will continue to be dry. Nancy? Yeah, so this is the graphic that kind of helps to explain that, and knowing where you live, you're going to continue to be dry today. Yeah. Sorry. Nasal spray can be addictive. Use saline. Oh, I used to have Afrin. My allergies are so bad. I used to have Afrin, and I was addicted to it. It was terrible, so yeah. What would be expected at the Northeast, Stephanie's asking? So really quickly, and then I have to go do TV. The Northeast feature was the October 24th, 25th, 26th storm system. We highlighted the Northeast as being an area of interest early to mid-July. It stayed off the shore there, but it caused beach erosion and rough surf. Early to mid-September, more than likely it's going to be playing out in mid-September. 9th, 10th, and 11th, watching the Northeast United States. So that was the October 24th storm system. Here it is on October 25th. You can kind of see as it crossed over Florida, it really fired up once it got around the Outer Banks. So that was a storm system that we for sure are going to be watching. Becca, Mazel Tov, congratulations. That's incredible. Listen, that's incredible. I'm here to support you. I'm concerned that I didn't have a pot of coffee brewed when I woke up this morning. You can still get today back. You can still get today back. Nancy says, hugs to your family from those who live in the desert of Florida's East Coast. I'm sorry. Oh, all right. 50% coverage of rain today, 60% coverage of rain tomorrow. Back to school forecast includes a stormier uptick. All right. I've got to go do TV in just a minute. Real fast, though, before I do that, back to school forecast. Want to make sure to mention this. Can't believe it's time already. High of 96, widespread afternoon showers and storms. Be ready for it. Be ready for it. Be ready for it, all right? Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you guys and gals tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. because we have tropics to track. I am going to start doing my 6 a.m. tracking the tropics so you wake up and you've got the information, all right? Be good, y'all. See you later.